Yeah.
And I have once it's started, it will echo for a minute. Setting up the meeting on YouTube, and then I'll hear it on here, and then I'll close it. That way I don't have the echoing. There we go. There we go. So yes, all here. Oops, I'm having slippery problems with my. Okay. Well, hello, Moto G. How are you?
Good.
Your first time on a Zoom?
Well, with you guys, yes.
With us guys. I open the floor to anybody new. If they wish to talk and tell us their story, they're welcome to. If they have any questions, you can sit back and listen, because you're not the only new one on today with us. It's just kind of casual talk. Brandy and Christina have been on with me many times, so we just kind of go and gab and blah, 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 and I don't have any, unless it gets too overpopulated. I don't have any like rules where you got to raise your hand to talk or anything like that. But one time we had it so big that I needed to put that rule in place, because it was like,
Oh my goodness.
all of us. Yeah, there was a lot of, oh, you're fine.
Okay. Well, I was diagnosed about 3 years ago, but my symptoms started about 5.5 years ago. I had a traumatic event that they said was what set it off. So it took that long for them to come to the diagnosis that I had. I was diagnosed with everything from anxiety to GERD, vertigo, the whole list, medication after medication after medication. Things just kept getting worse and kept getting worse. And so in the period of about 5.5 years, I've gone through about 5 neurosurgeons and neurologists. And basically, I no longer trust my general practitioner. And I've had to become an advocate for myself. I have.
What are your symptoms like?
My symptoms. Well, the neurologist I have now says I am FND atypical, and so I have weakness. My weaknesses are prominently in my right side. I drop stuff. I have foot drag. I have numbness in face, right through here, cold through here. Ice pick migraines in 2 locations of my brain. And then I also have situations of non-epileptic seizures and what my neurologist calls my brain glitches.
What they call it?
He says he calls it my brain glitches.
Oh.
I'm not exactly sure what all that means, but basically my brain shuts off and my body doesn't know it. So I keep moving.
It's more like, I think what they're not trying to go into great details, and I can describe it to the best of my knowledge, what it's truly happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the whole structure of the brain, but the neurons. And the neurons,
they're not firing.
They're not sending the messages correctly. And those can be sent either electrically or chemically. Mm-hmm. So either way, whatever glitch there is in that neurotransmitting, sending and receiving, it's something is not working right to send.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of the information I've got, I basically had to get it myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think most of us have.
Yep.
So I also work with, so I decided to start doing a lot of research myself. I decided to go back to school to get a better understanding of, because my body didn't, it wasn't just my body that started going haywire, my digestive system went haywire.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
all
Bladder?
of a sudden, no gluten, no dairy. I love bread and I love cheese. I can't have either one. It just all of a sudden, nope, can't eat it. They were like, well, you obviously must have, celiacs, or you have this, or you have, nope. I mean, I've had every part of me scanned. And,
Labs, all of these.
Yep.
huh?
Lab work and all that
Yeah.
Oh,
nonsense.
yeah. Yeah.
Everything.
MRI, CT, you name it,
Yep.
I've had it done.
Yep.
I
Have
actually,
you ever had the, what do you call it? It's not the, brain one for testing for seizures, but the one where they put on a set of muscles, an EMG.
Yeah, EMG. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. EMG, where they put on for a set of muscles to test
no,
connection of the nerve of the muscle.
they've never done that one. Um, at the time that I had my first episode, they had thought that what had happened is my blood pressure just bottomed out and I passed out. So when I fell, I hit the front of my face on the oven door.
Oh,
So it split in here. So they were sitting there and they kept worrying about my jaw. And I kept telling them, my head hurts. My head really, really hurts. So they kept saying, well, you probably hit the floor. So they were pretty sure that not only did I have that episode, but I also gave myself a concussion on
oh, you're
top.
not the only one.
Yeah,
I had and traumatic brain injury,
yep, me too.
and
So that went
Christina
in
had
the,
a stroke.
uh-huh. Okay.
And do you have a head? Did you have a head injury or a stroke?
Stroke.
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 See, isn't this convenient? Like, and Diane, did you have a head injury?
Yeah, when I fell.
That's right. See, like all
Hit the
these,
kitchen counter.
Oh yeah.
very common
So,
to hear
oh,
this.
I'm finding that it's quite common.
Yeah, but then it seems like it's dismissed though. Like, oh no, that's not your problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like, what? How come it was everybody? It was all the football players' problems when there was a big to do in the 80s about their safety, 80s, 90s,
right,
whatever. What if all ours is this same on the same spectrum as what they had
right.
because of
Well,
enough concussion or a minor, like a TBI at cellular level is usually what they
right,
were showing because there was really no damage showing on a brain itself, but
Yeah,
it's deeper,
right.
the tiny cells.
yeah.
Now, do any of you guys, when they did the scans and stuff on your head, did they show clouding in any areas of the scans?
No,
I mean,
not me.
yours is cloudy.
Yeah, I've
No.
got two spots, one right here
Oh,
and one up here. And they're actually the same locations where I have the ice
I didn't.
pick migraines.
Oh, really?
My migraines I have what feels like I'm wearing a hat that's like 5 times too small all
yeah,
the time. But then I have where it feels like somebody's taking an ice pick and just shoving it into my
Oh,
head.
yeah,
my, I used to have them really bad prior to FND, and it would be one-sided, one or the other side. Now it's kind of weird, random. Like sometimes on the side of the head, it feels like that ice pick feeling.
Mhm.
Like, what is
yeah,
all of a sudden is that? You're like, oh my gosh. And it's just like poof, comes out of nowhere.
And it doesn't last long.
No, at all. But you sit there enough to go like, oh gosh, get that out. And then yeah, then it's gone. And then
Mhm.
another one might come in a different a different spot. I haven't really had any I can think of in the back of towards the back of my head, but mostly like further. Because when I had the other ones, they were like through my eye and like
Yeah.
here. But now they're more side, total side, more above my ear kind of thing. And
Mhm.
yeah, they don't last long either. But and then they give me this weird sensation in my head that feels like I always tell a doctor, I said it's so hard for me to describe. It's not like brain fog. It's not like it's almost like someone put a balloon in your head, took out your brain, blew the balloon up so you feel the pressure of the balloon, but you also feel the emptiness of no brain in there. It's a weird description. I know it's a weird description,
Yeah.
but that's just
Oh, I fully understand.
I always called it a cotton ball in a pressure cooker.
There
oh
you go.
That's what I always said to
good.
the doctors. I
See,
don't
now,
know how to
I have
describe it,
that.
right? It's really hard to put into words.
It
Right.
is. It's
See, I
very.
have that balloon pressure all the time.
Yeah,
That
I
is
do too.
Nonsense.
24/7.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
Oh, mine has never gone away.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, no, mine comes and goes, and sometimes that's an aura for me before a seizure. But my auras have also changed. Like recently, it's been severe nausea, and then my tongue goes a little crazy, and then I'm like, okay, that's it. I know what's coming now.
See, my seizures aren't like a general seizure. Mine is where all of a sudden I don't even know they're happening. And it's like I start staring off into space. My brain is not there, but my body doesn't know. Whatever I was doing when it happens, it keeps right on going.
I have some like that, like the like you're in a daydream phase, and your eyes
Yeah.
just stay fixated, and you're. I
Well,
have
see,
some like that, but not.
my brain goes completely blank. I don't know
Or you
what
don't remember, like you're not even
I,
aware of your surroundings.
nope.
No, I'm
I
aware.
had,
I'm
I've
somewhat
fallen
aware.
and broken my toe in the last, I think it was 9 weeks ago. I went down some steps because I was heading to the pool and it happened. I was at the top of the steps and I kept right on walking like I was going to go down the steps. And the next thing I remembered is I was sitting at the bottom of the steps because I was carrying my teacup and it's plastic. I don't carry glass anymore. And it was empty and I was all wet and I was going, my husband's looking at me like, are you okay? Your face went blank. And I said, how am I wet? And he goes, you fell down the steps. And I said,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
okay. And I just got up, got in the car, we went to the pool, and like nothing
so
ever
dangerous.
happened.
That's
Yeah,
I don't have any. I have not, knock on wood, had any drop attacks, passing out, falling because I just can't. I'm aware of my surroundings when I have my seizures, but I can't really respond.
right.
But I've been lucky enough. I've only fallen maybe once or twice in the 5 years because go figure, hits my head and ooh, knocked me for a loop again. It's the second time and then and I was outside by myself, which was dumb because then it knocked me down. I had seizure on the ground. Dad was in the house. My daughter was over, two neighbors playing, and then it started raining. And I couldn't do anything but drag my elbows on me scoot to try to get somewhere to get some help. But hi Cheryl.
Hey, April.
Hi, honey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Okay.
I'm putting on a tough face for you guys.
Yeah.
Good for you. Not easy.
Yeah. But yeah, so you become Miss Research Queen too, as just like all of us. And
Yep.
did you know? So you in our face group book? You notice recent stuff I posted.
Yes.
that has come to light to me. Have you been on any of those medications?
No, I'm actually very well. They've tried me on a few medications, but I've developed extreme allergies.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the only thing I'm taking is gabapentin, and they want me to take it 3 times a day at 100 milligrams. And I am only allowing myself once a day because I also have kind of an addictive personality.
Oh yeah.
I've
Mm.
dealt with alcoholism in my past. So I'm not a real take medication kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I just take barely enough to just kind of keep the edge off so I can function.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
my
you,
neurologist,
so you have lots of pain too.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
like I
You
have
have,
where I be walking and my brain tells me I no longer have a right leg,
oh,
but
I
it's
hate that
not.
feeling.
I It always seems to happen when either I'm hiking, I'm doing a run because I'm still able to do uh the 5 and 10 Ks that I was doing. Now I can't do them as fast as I used to.
Bless your heart.
Um,
Oh,
Good
that's
for you.
good.
Go girl.
and I'm still able to do the hiking, but now I have sticks that if I start going down, I can stop myself a little bit. And thankfully, I've got a great friend who is an ER nurse, and she likes the same things I do. So when I do it, she's right there next to me. So if I
Good.
go down,
That's
I'm
really
with the
good for
nurse.
you. Right. That's really good for you then. That's
But
excellent.
I've taken a more of a holistic approach to a lot of it. So like I'm learning about nutrition and like trying to
Various.
get some of the healing properties of what I'm eating because I'm finding like if I'm eating crud, I tend to do worse than
Mhm.
if I'm sticking to a fairly
Got it.
restricted diet
Mhm.
um, because I'm going to try to stay as active as I can for as long as I can.
Don't blame you. That's awesome that you're able to do
That is
that.
awesome.
Some of us, I don't know, I was unable to walk or talk for 6 months completely. And
Hmm.
then when I started walking, apparently my dad said I looked like a sandhill queen
Oh,
with with
no.
the way my legs would move around. And my legs are about the only thing that's really skinny on me. So I do look kind of like board legs. It looks kind of weird. So I guess I could see that he coming from on that. But that I had to use a walker for about a year and a half. And then I went to a cane, and then it's kind of an as needed, which one I really need. But this my last week has been the most productively more symptoms. Well, my paralysis had went from just that left side arm and leg to whole body, and I couldn't
Hmm.
speak, and it lasted for over an hour. And then it happened twice last week, and then I had a seizure, and I have a seizure every day, not just one seizure. My seizures are like in a group, a series of them at a time, and then um so I call them like seizure events because it's several seizures at a time, and then later on I might have it again in the evening. But today I had both seizure and paralysis on left side, was not whole body this time. So my walking then gets really poor, dragging the leg, um wobbly all over like I'm one of those little toys. I remember getting in an Easter basket, you push the button and they go floop, floop, those, remember those old toys that are on
Hmm.
strings?
Hmm.
You guys remember? You remember
Yeah,
them, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
With the
push a
arms and the
button
hands
and
move.
it whoops, and then or
yeah.
yeah, floppy. Or like one of Pinocchio floppy with no one's hanging on to me. Um, and then the speech. And actually, so I started counseling again because I pretty much have been doing counseling once a week for the first 4 years and had a break for last year, but I've had some circumstances happen this year that that would make anybody that didn't have FND have to go to a counselor. So I had my second session yesterday. She's never heard of conversion disorder, never heard of FND. And so, the first couple sessions, they just kind of trying to get to know you kind of thing. Well, go figure. I had a situation over the weekend that it's made it even worse. So when I was trying to talk to her, I started having a seizure. And she's freaking out. Do I need to call 911? Do I need to do this? Do I no, da, 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 da. And so I'm pounding on my bed, trying to get my stepmom come in to talk to her, say, no, 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 no ERs, none of that nonsense. We don't do that stuff. And then, prior before that, she was like, oh, if you're having all this so much, who treats you? And I go, my
Nobody.
psychiatrist and PCP. I mean, but then not for this, if I'm sick or if I'm depressed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm.
Not for this stuff. These
Yeah.
things I just told you about that happened all week, you just live with it. And she goes, but there's got to be some, like, she's in shock, kind of like, I go, but
Mm.
there's not, you don't go to the hospital because same thing happens over and over.
They-
Neurologists just shun you, and it's there's nothing.
Nope,
You
nothing they
find
can do.
your own,
Nothing they can do. No.
say you find your own coping mechanisms and what works for you, like Epsom salt soak baths, meditations, anti-inflammatory,
Mm-hmm.
like I really like ginger root squeezed and peppermint or spearmint leaves in my water.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll add turmeric, but sometimes I don't like that dirty flavor. But yeah, you just kind of have to. And then I tell her how I'm doing this, and I said, this has been probably the best therapy I've had since I started this.
Yeah.
Is making friends that understand me, and
Mhm.
I understand them. And so this has become very, very, very helpful for me. And
See, nobody's ever suggested therapy for me at all.
are you
Any
kidding?
no kind of psychiatrist, psychologist, nothing. They didn't even. I basically, let's see, the neurologist before the one I'm with now, he basically was like, well, I want to give you these meds and you just need to rest.
Wow.
I said,
Oh
so
my
you're
God.
basically telling me, let me take these pills and sit on my butt all day.
Mm.
That's what you're telling me.
And then you get wide and wide and wide. That's what happened to me. Really wide. Yeah. But you know what? I'm a firm believer in general that if you're diagnosed with anything that could be chronic or scary, period, say you got diagnosed with cancer and it's like a borderline, am I going to live or die kind of cancer? I think therapy is good for anybody for that
Yeah, it
because
is.
it helps talk you through and
Yeah.
gives you great coping skills.
Well,
So
the funny thing is I run a recovery.
why would they well, you know what, you sound like me because I used to be a special ed teacher before all this, and I taught kids with emotional behavior disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to wear the hat of many things that you teach.
Yep.
You calm down a crisis, you do this, you do that, whatever. So I had, luckily, behind my belt, I had a little tool sack of coping mechanisms that I have learned from having to use with my students. But it
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't quite enough because my circumstances was slightly different. So I needed to, and it's almost just like the plumber that doesn't fix his own toilets, but fixes everybody else. That's I was fixing everybody else, but I couldn't fix me. So I needed that accountability and that person to talk with me to
Mhm.
guide me through some things that were a bit challenging for me to realize. It was helpful. And not that I'm not saying that I got rid of my FND, because when I was finally diagnosed, I was given false hope to me and my family. They say you take a year of cognitive behavior therapy and it'll be better. You'll be
Yeah.
back to normal. And it's like, and like 2 years later, everybody's like, well, what's going on? And I'm like, yeah, I'm accepting this. Apparently that's not gonna work. Julie's here. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Hi.
So
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
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 so
How
we got,
are we all today?
we got some newbies on here. We're not I'm gonna call her, I call her Moto G because she's keeping her name confidential, which is perfectly fine.
Fine.
And we have
Fine.
Andy, the two new people, and Andy's she's just gonna take a seat back and listen
Okay, good.
for the most part. But I noticed that she's been sending little notes in the chat that are very helpful, so I appreciate that, Andy. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Right down.
Okay.
And
Oh. If I start moving around, I apologize.
you're
I
fine.
have a therapy dog and he's going, I have to go outside.
Oh, trust me, I have to leave. So I do it all the time. It's totally fine. We are so lax here, aren't we, ladies?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, we are. Do
We just
whatever you
lax,
gotta
we do
do.
whatever. I'll be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom.
Listen,
Gotta take
you
a
can't
look.
indicate and then walk away. Get over here.
Yeah.
Not
so-
a problem.
Good.
We're all good. There's no, we're all happy no matter what, right?
Yes.
You know?
'Cause-
Yeah, I got my pussycat here.
Oh, hi, Kitty.
Yeah,
Oh.
his name is Cowie. 'Cause
Howie?
when Yeah, Cowie, because when he was a baby, he
Oh.
looked like a little cow.
Howie. Well, I can see that. A hosting cow. He's cute.
Yeah.
I like the colors.
He's 16 years old.
No
Well,
way.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
How you been? Did
Oh,
you-
I had a really bad day yesterday.
Oh,
Yep, yesterday was a very, 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 very bad day. I didn't even expect it to be bad, but I think we got a storm coming in, so,
that'll do her too.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Do we
Yeah.
all relate to that? If there's a storm brewing, that we all end up with issues?
Yep.
We are the weather forecasters.
Forecasters, yeah.
We're new professional weather forecasters. You don't need all that equipment, just use us.
Yeah.
Right.
Pay us to tell you what the weather's going to be like.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
I could definitely use a job like that.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right, exactly.
I forgot there was a meeting tonight. I just noticed it on the website and I'm like, oh, there's a meeting. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Um,
and
Go ahead. So you just,
I'm just saying is that, I didn't catch the other two meetings because I've been like kind of busy around here camping and stuff like that, right?
hey,
You know, trying to live life.
yeah, that's
We all know what that's like, trying to live life. So trying to catch up to it.
right.
Mhm.
Well,
So-
the WAVES meeting, it was yesterday. Christina had asked if I had any or knew of any groups for caregivers or supporters.
Okay.
So the one I did know, I put from FND Hope, they have their own
Yeah.
caregiver support group. So I
Mhm.
posted that. Plus I created a chat for them.
Okay.
Oh,
And I also let them know in the chat if they're interested in doing a Zoom on their own.
Okay.
I'll set it up for them, and maybe I'll find somebody that will be the main host, that helps. So I kind of just chit chat in their chat group just to see how many people are active in there, and I keep my eyes on that.
Okay. That's good. That's good. It's always good. So where are we all from? I'm from Canada, Ontario.
me too.
Oh, yes,
too.
of course you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
And Diane is up there in Canada too.
Yeah.
I'm in North Carolina, United States.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So in the States. Okay.
she's almost a neighbor to me
Oh,
couple states
really?
away from-
Really?
I'm in Florida.
Okay, you're not far.
Yeah, not far.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'm
And
in
Christina, where are
Delaware.
you?
Yeah, yep. Show and Del. Well, where are you, Christina?
I'm in Oregon.
Oh, whoa. You're way
All
far.
over the place.
She's way over there.
Nice, nice. Well,
And Brandy, Ohio.
oh, okay. Okay, cool. Cool. That's good. It's good to have people all over the place, right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Did your neurologist say anything to you about the doctor that's doing the studies on FND, and she has the clinics that you can go to for like 2 weeks?
But which
I
one?
think she's in Virginia.
No,
No.
first of all, I have a neurologist that just shows me over to a psychiatrist. So I gave up on neurology because my
That'll
neurologist
just fluff you off.
I have not, I
That's
have
what
not
my
yet found one that cares. It's either they say go to pain management, go to psychiatry. They don't even do anything anymore. And on top of that, prior to FND, I have spondylosis. I have bone spur in my neck. I've had from a car accident. I've got a lot of damage in my neck and my back. They don't even care to see me anymore for even that.
No.
Oh,
So it's
gosh.
like,
Yeah, I went to see a
So,
rheumatologist last week. He told me there's nothing he can do about my back or my neck. It's just, I have to learn to live with it, right? But my back has been so bad lately. It's just, I can't do anything without causing a lot of pain. But I have to,
You're-
I have
you're
an
going from
appointment
one
with
season to
Arthritis
another, aren't you?
Society, and they're gonna fit my hands for thumb splints and splints to use at night because my hands are bad. The arthritis, so.
See,
But
I
that's
find
about
that
it.
so odd because I'm on a couple different chats and I hear this a lot where I must have one of the really good neurologists because mine, he does evaluations on, you know, the range of motion because he's tracking, you know, the changes in my range of motion. He hooked me
that'd
up
be
with
nice.
a nutritionist, a physical therapist who helps because I'm still able to get in the pool and work out. I'm still able to work out with some weights and stuff, but because I dropped stuff, because I was going to the gym, and there is nothing funnier than getting a whole bunch of pumped up guys scared because you dropped weights. That is so hilarious.
I can imagine.
Oh,
So-
it's funny. And I just have a sense of humor about it. And I'm just like, old fat lady falling, be ready.
Oh my God.
I like
I like
my
this.
neurologist. I like
You-
my neurologist, but he's never mentioned anything about the case studies or he's
that?
about OT, PT, and speech.
Wow.
I think her neurologist focuses on her a lot because she had a stroke. And that's
Mhm.
why
Who had a
she's still-
stroke?
Christina. And
Oh,
Andy did too, right? So if you've
Had
had
one
something
too.
that truly has been visibly seen in the head, your neurologist seems most cases.
Yeah.
Moto G's got lucky to have a neurologist that I might hunt down myself since she's a couple states away, but because strokes are evident,
yeah,
Yeah,
you could see where the stroke was. You could see the evidence of what
they clearly
Yeah.
see that.
done.
So neurology feels responsible to hang on to you as a patient and keep
Okay.
I would like
monitoring
to
you
have the
as well.
FND neurologist.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
yeah, good luck, yeah.
Yeah.
This is something we were saying yesterday. Well, doesn't it used to be, well, you would go to your general practitioner, they say, okay, I'm seeing something going on, I'm gonna send you to a specialist. What you go, what
Mhm.
specialist? Neurologist. You go to a neurologist and they knew about everything. You didn't have a neurology for FND, a neurology for stroke, neurology for specializes in migraines, neurology that's for MS. And
Yeah.
see, now what I've encountered and what was unveiled to me that I've been checking into that I've shared with you guys is that this neurologist that specializes in the periodic paralysis, why can't all neurologists test for all of these things? And if they
Mhm.
really don't know how to treat it, send you to the specialist that can treat it.
Yeah.
Mhm,
They should at
right.
least do the
Mhm.
every single bit of the testing of every possibility, but they don't think that way. They only
No.
think of in their own specialty. So
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
I left the neurology here in the West Coast, that were just completely, like a word, ignorant and
Yeah.
cruel.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Because they even hit me, like slapped me, told me to get a hold of myself and stop moving.
Oh,
And
that's abuse.
Gosh.
I know it's abuse.
What?
I attempted,
That's not good.
I tried to,
No.
I tried to file, but it was really difficult because it was the beginning and I had hardly any mobility at all. And it was
Wow.
more than enough just to find the help I did need and
Right.
to all the other, the SSDI, all the stuff,
Mhm.
just everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I ended up going to the Cleveland Clinic on the East Coast over by Miami.
Mhm.
And I saw a movement neurologist.
Okay. Yeah.
And then he wanted me to go get the fMRI and the neuropsych eval. And then
Mhm.
insurance denied the fMRI because it's,
More
research
used for
or
research.
research or
Mhm.
experimental, whatever nonsense.
Yeah.
So I was able to get the neuropsych, whatever. And then I told him I started having these episodes to me because, I've seen seizures before and I thought, what the heck? My body looks like it's having a seizure, but I'm fully aware. So what's going on here?
Exactly.
And I
Yeah.
tell him,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
isn't. So I just have to call them an episode because I can't quite identify these with a seizure because when I've seen kids have seizures, they'll out,
Yeah, where the
So
person is not aware of what's actually happening to them and they don't actually remember having a seizure. So
exactly.
you
But
can't even call it a seizure.
right. And so I went through all these things, like my body resembled it, but my head didn't because I was aware of
Yeah.
my surroundings, came out
Yeah.
of it and like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
My body just like
Yeah.
possessed something crazy or something, you think, what the heck is that? So I tell my doctor that and he's like, well, I'm going to send you to my partner who's an I'm not gonna say, I can't say the word. You guys know what I mean.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
We understand your language, April.
Yeah. So I
We
go
got
see him for the first time and I go figure I have one laying there in his office before he comes in the room. And my dad and my stepmom went out to get the medical assistant to show him, hey, and so he comes running in. And so that was the end of that visit. He just shipped me straight over to the hospital. And I was on the floor, the neuro floor, for a week.
Wow.
And I looked
Yeah.
like Medusa when I came out from all that
Yeah.
glue in my hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
non-epileptic seizures is what I was having. And they are the ones that said, okay, you got FND, go see a cognitive behavioral therapist, you'll be better in a year.
Yeah.
5 years later,
Right.
5 years
And
later.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I don't get. One of you was saying that you were never told to do therapy. I was told therapy would cure the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
Same here.
you had a stroke, right, Christina?
Well, for her
Yeah,
FND, I think.
But the FND would cure, the therapy would help make episodes go
Of the FND
like longer time apart.
between.
Yeah,
So what came
between
first? Was it the stroke or the FND? Which came first for you,
Stroke.
Christina? Stroke came first.
Yeah, but they don't know if it was a stroke or my first FND episode. Because I got the clot buster within 10 minutes of my first stroke symptom.
So they don't even know if it was a stroke then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because the clot buster, I began the symptoms of a stroke. I was at the hospital within 5 minutes
And they
Okay.
gave you the med?
had they gave me the med within 10 minutes of my first
Episode.
symptom of a stroke.
Right. Right.
So
Without doing
Yeah,
MRI or scan or anything?
without anything, I had all the symptoms of a stroke. They gave me the clot buster
Wow. Wow.
within, it was like 7 or 10 minutes.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
did the
Did
same
that
thing.
make a difference though? Like, I mean, did they see a clot, or they just saw the symptoms of what you were having and they automatically just gave you the clot buster?
They automatically just gave me clot buster.
Oh my
Holy
God.
crap, man, that's
That's scary
ridiculous.
because sometimes that can do more damage than good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I went in emergency through ambulance thinking I was having stroke, but they would
Yeah.
not give me any meds until they had did all
All the
testing.
testing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
And it was
did. They
quick.
gave me the clot buster first, and they
Wow.
And how
Wow.
would
It
you
was-
not know if that caused it?
yeah, I don't know.
Holy man.
See,
How
mine
long ago was
causes,
that?
That was 2019.
That was
Oh, wow.
2019. So
Yeah.
have you gotten any better since 2019?
No.
Have you gotten worse?
Yes.
That's a loaded question.
It
Laughing
is.
'cause-
Sorry. It is.
No,
You're right.
I'm laughing because I hesitate, and my husband's like, yes.
Okay,
'cause I've
and you know
had
what? That's great.
my-
That's great. It's not great that
My
it's great that your
episode-
husband is behind you, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
My episodes are like strokes every time. My face droops.
Yeah.
My left side goes weak.
Yeah.
Every time I go
Mhm.
call the doctor, they're like, oh, she's having stroke. Take her to the hospital. They do
code-
MRI.
Do
No,
they do
nothing.
code stroke protocol on you, don't they?
Yeah.
That's
Every time.
same here, and that's why I don't like going to hospital. And then I get those mean, nasty sternal rubs, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
get pinched really hard, and I'm like,
Yeah.
when I come out of
So-
this, I'm gonna punch you in the nose.
Yeah.
Funny, April. I had to punch that doctor in the nose if he does that again. That's hilarious.
It's like, don't.
See, mine didn't believe, my
Uh-oh.
doctor did not believe that that was going on because my face would drop and then it would only last like 5 minutes and then it'd go
Yeah.
right back to normal.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
by the time I'd get to the hospital, it was done.
It was gone. Exactly.
And I'm like, and I didn't even know what happened. Somebody else had to tell me it was going on.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I'm totally unaware.
Mhm.
And so he didn't believe me. I was like, okay. So like I said, I hang out with a nurse friend a lot. When she sees it happen, she goes, okay, take a picture.
Exactly. Take a picture, take a
'Cause they
video.
don't believe you.
They don't believe you.
And,
My-
and
my-
he said it's it's a form of Bell palsy.
Yeah, I was told that too. And the sad part is that they dismiss you so fast because they think you want attention, and they're thinking that I don't have time for you because you don't have the right symptoms for a stroke, because they're focused on the stroke and that's it. And
Yep.
that's the sad part, because that just shows you how closed-minded they really are, and they're not opening up their mind to what actually could be going on. That way
I
that
really
it's not
want-
showing all the time.
I really want a handout for FND. So when you walk in there, because
Yeah.
last time
Yeah.
it wasn't just my left side, it was my right side. My
Oh,
right
wow.
leg stopped working. And they were
Wow.
talking about me going to the hospital. I was like, I want a handout for FND so I can take it in there. Because when I go in, my face is drooping, my left side, they're like, oh, she's having a stroke. I'm
Right.
yelling, no stroke, no stroke,
Right.
no stroke.
See,
You
Christina,
idiot.
do you have stroke doctors down there at all? Do you have yeah? Well, maybe you should go talk to your doctor and say, listen, I want to see a stroke doctor. And a stroke doctor, what they'll do is that they will actually test you to see if you've had a stroke. And they
Yeah.
will say, yes, she's had a stroke. No, she's had no stroke. I was tested and they said, no, you did not have a stroke. We don't know
I-
what you have, but you did not have a stroke. So you've got to get that done. You know,
I will definitely try that because the neurologist said that the first one is a maybe, but the other ones are just the FND.
right. It's really sad though. I'm sorry that happened to you because you know what? That blood clotting medicine could have done worse for you. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it could have done some damage for you. And that's like, that hurts me when I hear stuff like that because the doctors aren't really paying attention to you. They're just looking at your symptoms, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really, really frustrating that
Well,
right there.
And it's sad when you go in, because when you do go in, the first thing they say to you is, well, I really don't know what's going on and I don't know if I can really help you, but just
Right.
join this support group.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't even know what I'm going into a support group for. And if you go
Exactly.
into some of them, I mean, I've left two of them because one, the guy told me I was a liar and I was just seeking attention because
No
I don't
way.
because I don't have I'm atypical symptoms because not mine have the basics, but like there's people who they get it, they get hit with it, and then they're either stuck in wheelchairs or
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
bedridden or they're very, very mobile,
Yeah.
restricted.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Right.
Mine
Right.
comes and it goes. Some days I do great and I'm
Mhm.
awesome. Other
Yeah.
days I'm like, I know on Thursdays I have my recovery program. And I know on Friday morning when I get up, I'm going to be in my chair from the time I get up
Yeah.
and until about noon, 1 o'clock. And then I can get up and start moving around
Right.
because it takes such a toll from me mentally and physically that I'm
Yeah.
not going to be moving around for Friday morning.
Yeah.
It's
So
not going to
right
happen.
there. So right there, what you just said, you know what caused your
Mhm.
relapse, right? Right there. You
Yeah,
just
my
pinpointed
triggers.
it. Yeah, which is great because then when you know that, that helps you because then you can sit there and plan your next day, right? You can plan your Friday now.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
So that's perfect. I wish I could do that. I want to be able to say, okay, if I go shopping, then I know that tonight I'll have a bad episode. You know what? That doesn't happen for me. For me, it's like yesterday I woke up and I don't know, I just woke up and it just started and I'm like, okay, so let's see if I can do something. So I did a little bit of stuff there and no, I said, no, I'm done for the day. So I was down for the whole day. And then this morning when I woke up, I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel too bad, but I'm having issues. And I thought, you know what? I'm good. So I ended up going to help my husband. He had to bring his car in. So I had to drive him in. And I forgot where I was going. I'm like, where did he say he was going? Where do I have to pick him up? I forgot. Or did he tell me? I don't remember. So I'm driving all over town and I'm like, I gotta stop driving because I'm having a problem here. So I finally get home and I text him. I said, okay, where are you? He's like, I'm here. I'm like, okay, give me a minute. I go, I pick him up. I said, I'm done driving. I can't do this no more. He goes, you just got one more time to drive. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll do that. I get there, then we get there and pick up his car. And then what do? I go shopping again. I go shopping thinking, okay, I got my car. He's got his car. I don't have to be home right away. And off I go to the flower shop to go pick up another plant because I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. No, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just went straight home, but I didn't. So I ended up having an issue and it took me longer to get home. But
Yeah,
I
see, I've
want to
had
be
I've had
able
to have a
say that.
notebook and I write in the morning, okay, this is my plan for the day,
Uh-huh.
and I
Uh-huh.
have it in order of priority
Right.
with a time if there's a time that goes along with it, because I've never been time oriented, never. And I just put the times right next to it, so and I date it so I know which day I'm on, and I'm just like,
Okay.
okay, this is how, and
So
I just
basically, you have a schedule for yourself.
yeah.
Wow. Does that work for you?
It does actually. It helps me stay organized because I'm in school right now. I'm in college and I
Good for you.
homeschool.
What are you taking
So-
in college?
Holistic nutrition.
Oh my
Oh.
God, that's
She's gonna-
fantastic.
She gonna come teach us some stuff.
Yes.
She'll be one of our ambassadors in that
There you go.
department.
Yeah.
Nutritional ambassadors. We need you. Good. How far along are you in this?
I'm starting my second year,
Your second
but I've
year and
been
how,
in for my degree.
okay. And
But
you've been
That's
okay with
wonderful.
it?
But I've always been that kind of I've been leaning towards that for like a couple years now. So
Okay.
I basically was doing that kind of research on my own already. And my nurse
Oh.
friend said, you know what? Why don't you go to school and get your license?
There you go. Perfect.
So I was like, you're
know what?
right. Why am I doing this?
Good for
You know
you.
what's kind of sickening? What's sickening is that we have the availability
Mhm.
of information at our fingertips that they still require a degree to get your certificate. But I think it should be now that if you can teach yourself and they design a test to pass it without going to college,
Mhm.
We
then
should.
you should be able to get your certificate
Mhm.
then.
I think so too.
Because I mean, all my classes, I'm very fortunate not fortunate, but fortunate. I mean, I got my master's in special education and
Impressive.
could have bought a couple houses with that degree,
Mhm.
but the FND disability wiped that loan
Wow.
out for me
That's so
because of
sorry. Wow. It's awful. That's awful.
permanent. And then I ran into my big old framed sorry,
Don't be
framed
sorry.
degree
Don't apologize.
when I finally was gathering all my things to one spot up at my RV, and I just sat there and I ended up bawling, and I'm like, what the hell do I do with this?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a dartboard now because it's really completely useless.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, that's
But-
why you named
but
this
then I
waves,
learned
is because you're a warrior. You
Yep.
know, you went that far and now you can't do anything with it, but at least you can say, look what I've achieved. You know, you should be able to put
Well,
that on
that-
your wall no matter
well-
what, even if you can't use it.
Okay, but
You
it's awfully
should
big
put
for
it
an
on your wall.
RV, so
Yeah, be proud of that.
Yeah, be proud of that, April. Be proud of that. Just because you can't use it, still be proud of it because you accomplished it. You did it. You got it. And you should prance that all, like put it on your wall for sure. Don't push that aside because that's something that you worked for. You achieved it. And yeah, FND took over you, but don't let that be put aside. That masters, don't. You know, that takes a
Okay.
lot to be able to do something like that. It really does.
And remember
So,
too that with
Okay.
the advancements of technology,
yeah,
you might be able to be an advocate for kids that need assistance.
yeah,
I mean, there's
yeah.
other ways of using it than just being a teacher.
There you go.
And you can do
Perfect.
those
Yes, well,
online.
but I'm hearing my teacher calling elsewhere, and it's through the group and the nonprofit and sharing research I come across and educating. So that's
Mhm.
where I'm feeling my calling is now of my teaching experience is now with adults, not the littles.
Right.
Now with adults,
Yep.
maybe even doctors
Mhm. Yeah.
go in and
If you can get them to
teach
listen.
them a thing or two about a thing or two and they might learn more, and that's
Mhm.
I was thinking about these. The more I keep doing these YouTubes, spreading awareness and education, if it's even if it might not hit all or fast, communities, caregivers, other people that have FND that
Mhm.
may need information. But if it hits some doctors, I thought of this because for first couple of years, I used to video just myself. And
Mhm.
then when we've been doing these, and I hear everybody's stories, and I, as a teacher, we also had to do our own research with our own students. It's always science, you always have to do trial and error stuff. And
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
always.
I think that when they hear a group discussing it together,
Mhm.
there's a bit more that they can take up that may not even show up in their list of data that they because sometimes they'll do case studies on a couple people at a time
Mhm.
and not even ask the right questions, or they'll put those people together, and here we're sharing
Mhm.
our thoughts, our
Mhm.
symptoms, and they might have missed. Oh my, and if they watch this, say, oh my gosh, look,
Mhm.
I'm hearing they all have had blah, 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 or
They might see a
They have-
pattern that we don't see
Yeah.
in the
right.
medical field.
So that was another thing I thought of
Mhm.
the other day while I was doing this. I'm like, because what I do notice, people tend to love the shorts more than these long episodes. But guys, tell my friend that Julie, my friend that texts in and says, hey, ask this. But I was telling her, I said, I get more views on those stupid shorts and my stinking symptoms.
Mhm.
I'm saying thousands of views. My personal guess, and hers too, is that they are medical students because
Okay.
I hashtag them per symptom and FND. So medical students probably go out there looking for what they can
Right.
for, tests, papers, whatever they have to study for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping if I do a little bit more of those shorts, it'll lead to this. And then those
Mhm.
students can pick up this, because this is way more important than watching me have some stupid seizure or walking like a sandhill queen.
But you know what? Being able to watch you have your episodes, April, they could see something that none of us are seeing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so the
Yeah.
more that you're recorded, the more we're all recorded, the more they might see something we will never see because we're not doctors.
Right.
So,
Right.
so yeah, this is great that we're able to do this. Like I said, April, thank you so much for being able to bring us all together and bring more of us all together, because the doctors are sitting there scratching their heads going, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you and I can't help you. See you
Yeah.
later, bye. Or you're
Well, that's
faking.
true.
I don't
And
believe.
Well, if they can't
badmouth-
shove a pill at you, they don't know.
Well, yeah, and
You're
that's
right.
the thing. My psychiatrist wanted to put me on pills. He goes, I can't put you on anything because I don't know what's wrong with you. And I thought to myself,
That's another thing, too.
wow,
Right.
that's scary. That's scary.
And
You
then
know.
and then you kind of, sometimes I have to give them the compassion for the fact that they're probably overloaded and don't really have the time to dig deep into
Mhm.
their own personal patient who's
Right.
come to them now.
Right.
I remember the day that I followed up with my PCP after this all started and I got released from the hospital. My
Mhm.
PCP came unglued. He was like, oh my gosh, you need to be in the hospital. And here I couldn't talk. I was in wheelchair, and my
Yeah.
mom said they released her like this. He's like,
Mhm.
what? And
Yeah.
he's affiliated with the hospital system here.
Wow.
So he's like, he's like, oh my gosh. So we had to tell him that we're not gonna give up, finding, but may take traveling out of our system. And here I'm in Lee County, Florida, and there's a monopoly on all the hospital systems. They own every hospital. One place
Oh.
owns every hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
So you go to one and you still got your chart, they pull up that you went to another one, and then they start thinking you're a little crazy. So I went,
Yeah.
that's why I go to the Cleveland Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm been searching for that I'm looking for my insurance to cover a neuromuscular neurologist that could test me for that periodic paralysis.
Okay,
Um
okay.
I have way
Any-
too many symptoms of that.
Yeah, like, I mean, like right now to watch you, alls we know is that you're having an episode. So, like, I mean, a doctor should be able to watch you and see how you're talking, see how your body is moving around and stuff like that. And, you put a couple of doctors into that office and watch you, and they could come up with something. Because
Right.
if it's not MS, which it looks like it is,
Yeah.
and if it's not a stroke, which it looks like it is, and if it's not whatever else, and it's you're having symptoms, then what is it? And you can't just say
Right.
it's FND. You know what I mean? You can't say,
Yeah,
it's
because
functional neurological disorder. You can't say that.
I'm
Because
feeling
there's
that's
something
being
on.
over-diagnosed. It's being
Oh.
I truly believe it's being over-diagnosed for
Yeah.
the lack of that scratching the head, and then
Yeah.
I'm too busy. I
Yeah, they
can't.
throw you into
I
a
can't.
bucket.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And got to move on. And
Yep.
there are so many other types of tests, and I hadn't.
The tests haven't been thought of yet. They haven't
Yeah,
thought
well,
of the test yet. We're here to teach them
this
what tests to give them to start doing them.
That's it. That's what our whole talk was about yesterday. How we have to go looking for answers,
Yeah.
then find the right doctor that will specialize in what
Yeah.
we think we might have,
Yeah.
and say, test me for this.
Yeah.
Which is a little
Right.
sad because that's not how it used to be.
Yeah, because I'm
mean,
going to
you
going to see my nurse practitioner on June 4th. So I'm going to ask her about that test there that your friend told me to get her to check it out about the nickel dust and all that. I'm going to get her to test
Toxicity,
me out
yeah.
on that. Yeah, the toxicity, and
Yeah.
see what's going on, because there's something in each of our bodies that is connected, and we're from different parts of the world here, and there's
Mhm.
something going on, and what is it?
Ooh.
And we're all
Right.
You know what?
obviously born with it, because I don't believe that it just happens for no reason, that
No.
just all of a sudden. I
See,
believe
my
we're born
neurologist
with the gene.
had an idea about what he thought caused it, because he sees a lot of NF people, because
Okay.
he's worked under a doctor who
Okay.
specializes in it.
Mhm.
So he said what it was is because when he went through my entire life history. So
Right.
I have childhood abuse. I have alcoholism. I'm second
Mhm.
generation alcoholic.
Mhm.
I dealt with some anxiety
Mhm.
in my younger years. What happened just before my first episode is we had lost a child. It had been 6 months
so
after
sorry.
it. I felt like, oh, I'm doing great. I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's good. And then all of a sudden, bam,
It hit.
I got hit.
Mhm.
But for me, it was like, so when I started relaying all these different things, he goes, that's a common denominator in a lot of them, built up trauma where we've had to
Mhm.
create these pockets in our
Mhm.
mind
Yeah.
where we've
Yeah.
disassociated with so many different events in our lives that our brain just becomes used to disconnecting.
Yeah.
So when
That
we have
makes a
stress,
lot
we
of
have trauma,
sense.
it just disconnects.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'm following
Has
you
any
on
of
that.
yours said that?
Yes, like I can
Um,
relate to what you just said. Anybody else?
I think
I was just told that
the
it was due to trauma, and basically that was it, and that it's just, well, this is what it is, and it's because of trauma, probably in your childhood, and that was it, kind of thing.
So do you believe that?
the
Diane?
And yeah, to a point, because my abuser was my mom. So,
Right.
and what happened to me was I had all these symptoms for like 20 years. I went through all these tests for like 20 years. They're trying to find
Mhm.
something, right? Couldn't
Mhm.
figure it out. And then what happened was my dad passed away. And then
Mhm.
I was left with my mom, and I had to look after her. And at that point in time, everything got really bad,
Mhm.
right? So, I kind of connect the two, like the childhood abuse and the, having to deal with her, because when we were having to deal with my mom, she was really verbally abusive in a lot of ways,
Right. Yeah.
and making me feel guilty for not doing this or doing that or whatever, right? And
Mhm.
saying all
Mhm.
these stupid things about me. And so, yeah, I think that kind of pushed me over the edge.
So that kind of made you disconnect, and that's
Yeah.
probably when it hit you.
Yeah, because it's also losing my dad. He was kind of my rock, right? Him and I were
Yeah.
close. My mom and I were miles apart, right?
So you have two connectors in a sense that
Yeah.
can kind of make you disconnect. I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. That makes a lot of sense, because I've had a lot of death in my time. And even my neurologist, like, I mean, you go see your doctor, your neurologist, every other doctor, and they go, well, what's your history like? So you tell the same story over and over again, right? And next thing you know, you're adding things to it, because it's like, oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
happened, right?
Yeah.
And so the more you tell it, the more you end up connecting the dots to more
Yeah.
trauma that you forgot, that you thought you knew,
Exactly.
so then it's like recreating the story. It's April when you told Molly how to make her timeline. So I'm thinking that we all should just do that. Make our timeline. And you know what? I believe myself, this is what I
we'll do
believe.
that.
I believe that we can all probably heal ourselves and help the doctors.
Good idea. We will do that. We will do that. I will give this assignment. I'm going to play teacher.
Okay,
I'll give this
teacher April.
assignment. Listen up, kids.
Oh, we're in trouble.
You're gonna get the biggest piece of paper you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was homeschooling, I had those big construction papers, but you don't have to do that. It's nice to be colorful, but get the biggest piece of paper you can get.
Mhm.
Put it lengthwise, not up and down, but
Right.
lengthwise. Draw a line. Well, for some of us that are older, you might need a couple lines, but
Like me. I think I'm the oldest one
so
here.
start off with a line at the
Well, I'm
top.
62.
Maybe
No, I'm
maybe
65.
break it down by
There you go.
25 years each line or something.
Okay.
And then start at birth. You put your little line down, mark down, and say
Mhm.
born. Da, 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 da.
Right.
And that simplify that. Next line, the next thing that you can remember in your life. You don't have to remember the day, the year. You could remember approximate age.
Yeah.
You put the
Yeah.
line down. You write down your approximate age, or if you do remember the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can either put the dates above or below, but
Mhm.
keep it consistent. Dates above or below.
Mhm.
So then the opposite, you're going to write an event, the event you remember, and simplified. My sister was born, born.
Mhm.
My grandma died. Things like that. All the way, and keep them spaced apart enough that if a memory comes back and you knew it happened before, something you already have written down, you can stick it in there.
Stick it in there.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then, so like for us older people, 25-year line, if you have a big piece of paper, and you can write small,
Mhm.
or every 10 years, depends on how many traumatic events or how many events we can remember. But don't keep it to just negative. Also put
No,
significant
right.
things in there that were
Yeah.
important to you as well.
Mhm.
And once you're done, we will check back in a week, but once you're done,
Mhm.
keep looking at it. Just reflect over it and over it and over it. Once you've reflected over enough, it may come to you a theme that may be a
Mhm.
source that is a issue that you may have not been able to cope with because it's deep-seated,
Right.
subconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this.
So
I love it.
once you identify the theme, then we know that area you need to work on. And so
Mhm.
then after that assignment, I'll give you next assignment, but right now till next week, next Wednesday, you come on and you tell me how you felt doing that assignment, and if you were capable of noticing or identifying a theme that happened in your life. For example, because I've done this, I've done it so far, but I'm gonna have to make lesson plans. Thanks, guys, because I didn't do the whole complete thing, but I've got the timeline down and then the next steps, a couple of the next steps. But I identified a theme for me was
Oh.
loss, and how I
Yeah.
could not cope with loss, no matter what type of loss, whether it was a relationship, a death, losing a job, even a move that was my choice, but I lost the friends that, even
Yeah,
then it was
yeah.
sad, bittersweet type thing. 'Cause yeah, I'm off to a new adventure, but still there was that sense of loss
Yeah.
Mhm.
I never
of
thought of that.
things that were important to me. It could be a sense of continuous abuse, or it could be a sense of fear. Well, I mean, loss was mine, but I have a fear of loss, so I have to break that barrier of that fear
Yeah.
down for those losses that I see that when I have a loss, I conjure up a fear of future losses that I don't even know are really going to happen. So then I've
Okay.
got to break down that fear
Mhm.
some point so that I don't continue to live my life thinking I'm always going to have a loss
Yeah. So expecting that to happen in
and
the
being
future.
afraid of
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
afraid to live life because a loss will happen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's interesting. And then reflect also on the positive things. What are the things that truly made you happy? What
Mhm.
was the theme of that? Is it, family grew and I really love, the siblings. I love having my children. I love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
add on all these different things, whatever it may have been. Oh, I took on adventures and I traveled, or travel was really, really my high in life that I thoroughly enjoyed, and it was my peaceful thing, or going to school if you're a nerd like I was.
Well, it's not being
Things
a nerd
like that.
going to school,
So you will
April,
identify.
because you ended up getting your master's. So that's not being a nerd.
No, it's not.
Who here has their master's?
I don't.
You know, I don't even have my high school, for crying out loud.
Well,
So that doesn't mean you're not
it wasn't
smart.
easy.
I agree
So,
It
with
was
that.
not easy.
April,
Exactly. That does not mean that.
have you
I did
done this
it.
exercise before?
I've done the timeline, but now you guys are making me have to make my lesson plan for the rest of the following exercise. So I will do the timeline again for you, and then I play teacher again. and I'll come back with the next assignment next week, but work all week long on that. But I told you, I tell you what, when my counselor told me to do this, I was very non-compliant and hesitant, and I had the, you're not gonna make me write that nonsense. First of all, I hate my writing. Teacher had pet peeve of grammatical errors, and I have them all the time now. I'm not, no way am I writing this, but I finally did. I don't know where it's at, so I'll start a new one.
Wow.
And I do have more things to add to it now.
There you go. I'm
So I
glad
will-
that. I'm
I'm
just
just
glad
But I will
wondering
start
if,
a new one.
do this.
I'm just
Yeah,
wondering
and
if
then-
they're gonna be triggers.
Well, if there are,
there
then you
will
should
be,
put a
but-
trigger on
but-
there.
Yeah, and write that.
Yeah,
That was
label 'em.
triggering for you.
Yeah, write
But
it.
here's the thing, we cannot live life avoiding triggers 100% because
No,
there's obvious, especially if there's stressful triggers.
Right.
If there are
Yeah.
stressful triggers, then we have to work through that so
That's
they
right.
no longer become triggers.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
yeah,
right.
And I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah.
This whole week that has flared me up so badly, I'll tell you the story behind it. Last Monday, my sister was insistent I go to storage unit to get my stuff, my little amount of stuff I have in it, and I have that storage unit place happened to be the place where my FND started, and I was taken away by ambulance, and I have not been there since. So I walked into the unit. I was fine walking in, going through a little bit of things. Then I saw some other things that were triggering, and I could start to feel while I was in the unit that, okay, this has got to be enough. We got what I can get out for now. I
yeah,
can no longer, plus some of it was so tucked back, there was no way I could get to it. By the time I threw out some things in dumpster and took the little stuff that I could actually use, and my mom was pulling out of the storage unit area, I felt the tongue going. By the time I got home, my whole body was paralyzed for over an hour, and I was stuck in a car and no one could get me out.
Oh my gosh, that's
yeah,
awful.
that's terrible.
That's awful.
I couldn't speak, and I could not even communicate with my little girl like I normally do with my right hand, like a thumbs up or down or whatever, because the whole body was paralyzed. So the only thing I could occasionally do if I had a break in it was glance my eyes over, because sometimes my eyes went a little haywire as well. But I would glance over if she had asked me yes or no questions and if I needed something. So this has been a excruciatingly hard week for me with all that. So much more, which I'm trying to put on the brave face for, and I'm trying to be positive, and I'm trying to be not a complainer, and I'm trying to practice to be peace in my life. And
Well, you're not complaining, that's for sure.
Uh-uh.
It's not the fact that you're complaining, it's the fact that you're struggling through it and you're still struggling through it. And like, hats off to you, girl. Like, hats off to you. You know, I don't know how you do it, how you keep pushing yourself like that, but you keep doing it. And I don't know how you go through it, but you're doing pretty damn good as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know.
You guys have no idea how important you are to me
Well,
right now.
Yeah, that's
Especially-
right.
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta let it
Mhm.
out.
let it out.
Yeah, let it out. That's what we're here for. Is that when you're having a hard time, this is where we are. This is where you belong, is right here for now. Until you can get through what you have to get through, you know. That's what I love about this whole thing, is that we can be here for each other, April,
Yeah.
and we're all here for you. And it's
And there's
beautiful.
no judgment or anything.
There's no judgment
No
at
judgment.
all. I feel so honored to be here. I really do. I feel And I feel grateful. And I just can't believe that, this is fun. Like, for some reason, I'm saying finally, because I've been waiting for something like this to happen. I've been waiting for somebody to, to be here for me. And now all you guys are here, and there's more coming up, and I'm loving it. I'm like, oh my God, there's a Zoom meeting. I've got to go have a Zoom meeting. It's becoming addictive, and I love it. So April, you go through whatever you got to go through, and you just let us know what you need, and we'll be there for you. Yeah, definitely a safe space. And look at, even your animals are knowing that you're going through a hard time, so they're there for you too. If you gotta bawl your eyes out, bawl your eyes out. Do it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When you hold in your feelings, that makes things worse. When you let your feelings out, you feel so much better. So much better. Because you're letting out all that tenseness. All that tenseness that's held up in your body is hurting your body. So if you let it out, then it feels so much better. So just let it out.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can be in a room and it's a release. You can be in a room and nobody can hear you and just scream, cry, yell, who cares? We are here, and if we could all be around you to hug you, we would be there to do it.
Yeah. Group hug.
Group hug for sure.
Yep.
Group hug. Yeah. Group hug. Group hug for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a hugger, but hey.
Group hug.
April, you've broken me down. You've put me in a position where I'm not used to being in, to be able to be surrounded by such beautiful people. Like it's crazy. But yeah, the more you hold back, the worse it gets. So just let it out.
Yeah.
It's better to let it out. You can't hold it in. That's like when you got to go for a crap and you hold it in. What happens? You get sick. So that's the same with feelings, right?
Analogy.
Well, there was nothing else I could come up with, so I thought that's the best way to do it, right? Because everybody can relate to that. So you hold in your feelings, and it does something to your body, like the toxins in your body start stirring around and start getting all bad up in there and whatnot. And next thing you know, you're feeling like you're feeling awful.
Yeah.
Because I know when I have to cry, I cry, and I love it after I've done it. I love it. It's just, you can't hold in feelings. You can't, because your body will tell you different. Your body will shut down, and it'll just tell you, screw you, either deal with it, or this is what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
So just do whatever you have to do, girl.
Thank you.
Don't thank me, April. Just be yourself, please. That's all I ask. You've been yourself from day one. You'll always be yourself. I just don't want you to hurt anymore. I really don't. And I want you to be as happy as you can. You've come so far. You've done so much. And you've got so much more to do. Sorry to say that, but you've got a lot more to do.
Yeah.
Lots more.
Yeah. I think you're ready for bed, eh, girl?
Yeah, I have to eat it. A little something gets a little something in my belly, but
you haven't eaten today?
How do you? I sleep. Been sleeping awful lot lately. So I had a nap earlier when I had the seizure earlier.
So Motorola G, what do you think about that?
About which part?
Eh?
Which part?
About her not eating. About her doing a lot more sleeping.
No, ma'am. Stop that. You have to eat. You have to.
Have not.
If you don't,
I have had oatmeal and peanut butter and apricots a day, but I have a set reminder because I have no hunger sensation,
Mhm.
no urgency to go to bathroom either end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but I
Gee.
am I've been drinking lots of cranberry juice and lemon
Oh,
with
man.
lemons and
Okay.
water.
Good.
I'm not a soft drink, soda, pop, whatever the heck you all want to call it, drinker.
Mhm.
Okay.
I do have my 1 cup of coffee in the morning,
Okay.
but I'm on. I have found it difficult to stay on the diet I used to be on because I'm all over and never at my own place.
What diet is this, April? Let it out. Don't hold it back, please. Just ball it out. Just ball it out. Don't hold it. Ball it out. I know that sounds hard, but you got to do it, girl. Just to let go of that tension. I can see the tension in your throat. You know, it's like you don't want to cry, but you want to. Yeah.
I was really, for a while, did back and forth between vegan, vegetarian, and then I noticed my muscles were missing not
Okay.
enough protein. So
Yeah.
I would go to fish and chicken. And
Mm.
now I'm trying to, I did try to do keto, but not too harsh.
Mhm.
And so I want to try Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good for inflammation and everything.
Yes.
I
I'm on
heard that-
something similar to that,
Yeah.
except for I don't do the dairy that they do on the Mediterranean, and I don't do any of the gluten because my body can't handle it, and it sets off my more severe migraines, and it sets off my palsy.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, because one thing they said is that because the brain isn't sending all the right signals, it's also hitting your digestive tract.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
and your gut is what manages your brain. Your gut is more important than your brain.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
if you're
it
not
produces all your serotonin. That is the
exactly,
biggest serotonin producing organ
yeah.
in your
So,
gut.
so April, why are you screwed it up for? Like, smarten up, girl.
Huh?
What are you doing? Stick to one thing. You're screwing up your gut by changing your
Okay.
diets all the time,
I
right?
would suggest to you
Me?
Yeah, April.
Mediterranean, all of you, Mediterranean or DASH. If you can
Okay.
handle dairy and
What's the other?
gluten, you can look them up. There's complete meal plans that you can find online. Just go to Mediterranean
What's the other
diet
one?
or the DASH diet.
Mediterranean.
Dash.
DASH,
Dash diet, I've heard of it.
DASH.
Yep.
Is that part of is that related to European diet?
Similar.
Similar?
It's very similar. Um, it's like a mix between the Mediterranean and the one you just said.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But I would also like if
my
you're
niece
finding your niece. Okay, I'll be quiet.
just graduated.
Mhm.
Physical therapy and nutrition for sports medicine and
Mm-hmm.
she was one said that Americans have some of the worst diet fads ever.
Yeah,
And
that's
to
true. Yeah.
Yep.
go to Mediterranean or European diets,
Yep.
Mhm.
and I kind of like Mediterranean foods, but my problem is not that I want to switch diets all the time. I'm tossed around from home to home to home
Okay.
to home, where everybody has different
Foods.
foods,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and I cannot drive to get my own.
Food. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there, I'm trying to think of ways to, when
Like
you
a delivery
go
system.
yeah, like, I'm not sure what they have by you. Do you have an Uber? Do they have food delivery? I know they've got programs by me
They
where you can
would,
have the stuff delivered.
Mhm.
they would where I was, but not here. Too rural, and nearest town is 45 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
yeah.
So, and when I'm at my own RV, I have to depend on others, and I have not even been there long enough to make tons of friends. I have one specific friend, but she travels back and forth from New York a lot, and I was
Mm.
going to head up there, but she just left to go to New York till like
Oh, yeah.
second
Mhm.
June. But
Okay.
when she comes back, I'm hoping to go there. But if I go there, that could jeopardize my time with my 10-year-old because it's so far away, and her dad probably won't let me have her there.
Mm.
Oh,
You say, yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Yeah. But online shopping, what about online shopping? What she said from the UK? That's a really good idea. And you could get it delivered. And Amazon.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here in the States.
but
Yeah.
not cold food. Not like
Mm.
chicken or fish.
There is programs where they will send meat. I will the
Aw.
next week. I know people that have like complete meals sent to them, all the ingredients for a complete meal. I don't remember. I mean, you
we
guys all
have,
know how the memory is. I don't
we
remember
have these kinds of
exactly
things
what it
here.
was.
Got
I
that.
think I know what you're talking about. I wish my food benefits would cover those
Yeah, they're kind of
programs.
expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive to be healthy. It's very
It
expensive.
is.
So it's almost like, you know what, if you can't afford it, then you're gonna end up sick. And that's disgusting.
It is.
So disgusting. That makes me so mad. You know, the food should not be so high in price, and we should be
Right.
able to have food available to us no matter what. And we're being treated like we're in jail, you know, and we can't afford the foods that we need to feed our bodies with, because our bodies need certain foods and we don't need all this garbage in our foods.
You know
know,
what
Yeah.
I like? I know you can't have it, but I like having Greek yogurt smoothies that I make
Mm.
at home myself with berries
Yeah.
and chia seed, which helps me go better,
Yep.
and
I do that.
flax,
Flax.
seed.
Flaxseed, yeah.
And sometimes then I add, it depends on what, I'll add greens to it too, like spinach or kale.
Okay,
Mhm.
So it's not like it's just
Yes.
fruit only.
right.
But all my cooking things are up at my RV.
Okay,
And one day we will do this when not on YouTube,
okay.
and I will just dump. And I cannot divulge too much
Oops.
at this
There,
time.
there's farmers markets, they take food stamps. There
But
should be,
my food
Not here in the
stamps,
South.
my food stamps are only $23 a month.
yeah, mine
But
aren't much there.
and that probably will go away since I don't have custody of my daughter. And I get through my United Healthcare Dual Complete a benefit food and over-counter benefit for $225 a month.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
So unfortunately, and that's a use it or lose it plan,
Mhm.
does not roll over. And I just used it, give the rest of it to go shopping, and had to leave that house.
Wow, wow.
So I have no more money till the first of the month for food.
Wow.
I am at my dad's, so I have to go with what they have here.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Like,
Yeah, that's
that's
tough.
disgusting, you know. It's really terrible, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the homeless eat better than you do, April. That's sad. Like, my God. What about, do they have food banks around you at all? No way, because you're in a rural area.
Yep, up about where my RV is. But
Yeah.
my dad, he has money, will make sure I'm fed now that I'm here, but he eats crappy. He eats
Okay.
junk.
Well, you can't eat junk.
Ever since he got the false teeth,
Mhm.
he's had hard time with eating anything but soft foods.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
Mhm.
had them for several years, just it's bothered him too much. So he bad junk eater, but his wife made me some steamed cabbage, which was good.
Mhm.
And the sloppy joes, like I had a sloppy joes over it without the bread, because I tried to avoid bread
Mhm. Mhm.
because my A1C is borderline diabetic.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Mm.
trying to avoid the starchy foods.
Mhm. So the pasta and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I had to have the oatmeal because of all the paralysis last week. I was severely backed up, and the oatmeal helped me with that.
I'm sure.
I've been having huge
Well, see, the
bowel
thing is
issues.
on the diabetic website, oatmeal is what you're supposed to have for breakfast.
You
Mhm.
all?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
but they do have a low sugar oatmeal. It's instant that you can
Mhm.
get, and it costs the same as the box of instant with flavors. And it
it's-
comes in flavors.
She just gets a non-flavor, but I put a spoon plop of peanut butter in it.
Yum.
That's a different thing to do. I make oatmeal for me and my husband in the morning. And I put in butter and brown sugar and milk, and he just puts in brown sugar and milk.
I
I
put in,
used,
I
we
put in
used to do
berries.
that. I
I
used
put
to do the
berries
brown
and Greek
sugar,
yogurt, um, uh, soy milk
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
and chia and hemp and flax.
Yum.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Well, I used to do the brown sugar butter, but when I was gestational diabetic with my middle daughter, I learned, and then when I got pregnant with my last daughter, I was borderline again, and I did not want to go through that, so I controlled everything by diet.
Yeah,
So I eliminated most of my sugars. And then when I breastfed her, I had to eliminate all dairy because she had episodes where she stopped breathing, like my nephew, where
No.
he found out he had a milk allergy. So
oh,
I stopped eating all dairy because I was breastfeeding and it would pass down to her to
Mm,
thinking it would help her. Man,
Mm.
I was a skinny whippersnapper out during that time. I was like a size 2,
mm-hmm,
115 pounds.
mm-hmm.
Now I'm big moose, bigger than I was when I was pregnant
yeah,
for
that's
her.
like me. I gained so much weight. It's just, one contributor was, when I went on gabapentin, in
Oh,
6
yeah.
months, I gained
Terrible.
50 pounds, just like
Mhm.
that, bang, went from a size 8 to a 16.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Same thing with gabapentin. So
Yeah.
I say no more of that. I went off, but I was
Yeah, I'm off of it, but I still haven't lost the weight.
yeah,
That's
no,
the problem.
it taking time, but I'm also still on Lexapro, which can keep the weight on.
Yeah,
But I was on highest dose of gabapentin, taking 3,600 milligrams a day.
well, that's a
Oh,
lot.
my good God,
Whoa.
girl.
I was on 1200 that day,
Holy
and
crap.
it was the hardest
Yeah.
How did you
medicine ever to
function?
get off of.
I
Yeah,
wasn't,
that's
I
what I'd
called
like
it
to know.
my coma medicine.
You think?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
And they
My-
gradually brought me to that, but each time they would increase it, I was in a coma for a week. Like, oh, great, here we go.
Oh my God.
I mean,
And-
because at 300 milligrams, I couldn't function. How
Yeah,
did you guys get up that high?
It's a terrible med because, when I was tapering off of it, took me about 5 years to get off of the darn thing. And 3 times I ended up in the ER because of withdrawal.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
And
an
I was
addictive.
doing it really slow, but just in the end, it's a terrible
slow
med.
enough.
it is. And that
Yeah.
that was not all I was on either.
Oh,
I
me
was-
neither. I was on 17 meds at one time.
No,
Oh my gosh.
they put, and then they not all know the drug interactions, even
I
if you're
know.
taking supplement. Like supplements okay, but if you on a prescription and doctors don't pay attention to the interaction of the supplement with the
Yeah.
prescription, you
But
end
that's
up
up to the
having,
pharmacist to make sure that there's no interaction with the other medication, not the doctor.
Yeah, but
well, our
Yeah, but-
pharmacy down here
because-
don't know, have your
yeah.
drug list and what you're
No.
taking, that
yeah,
not
they
in,
don't know
not in
what
US.
supplements you're on.
Nope.
Oh,
You
But
have-
I've come off almost all those meds except for my heart meds. And one for gastrointestinal stuff and one for my bladder problems. And other than that, I'm on my last one that I have to come off of, which is temazepam. I'm down to less than a quarter of what I was taking before, so I'm getting there.
I have that too, and I want to come off because of all the research I just found out about benzos
Oh, they're so bad.
and
I've been on so many benzos in my life, terrible.
antidepressants as well.
Yeah,
Doctors themselves that have taken it are the ones that started their own research about it because of the long-term side effects of them, even if you've been off for 1, 2, 3 years.
I've been on
Geez.
diazepam for 20 years, more than
Did
20
any
years.
Did any of you guys take the gabalin?
What's that?
No,
It's supposed to be like the gabapentin, but it's oh, what is it? Gabalin?
Gatlin, is that what you're talking about?
Oh,
Brain
oh,
fart.
what is it?
Brain fart.
Yeah. All I can remember is gabalin. Something it's like what they give you when you can't handle the gabapentin. It's like the next step
Yeah,
or
that's
the
it,
next
pregabalin,
stage.
that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Not
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
Yeah,
What is it?
pregabalin.
The pregabalin. Because I had to go
Oh.
on a detox from that.
Wow.
I had a severe reaction to it.
And these aren't
I had a
even-
severe reaction to Lyrica.
And these are, oh, me too.
Oh,
That's
Couldn't
geez.
take Lyrica. Within 2 days, I was done. I could not take that.
I had the worst headache in the world from that and nausea.
Oh, I couldn't see, I couldn't walk. It just completely threw my whole body off.
I tried the Cymbalta. I had
Yep, I was on that too.
every side effect under the sun to the 10th degree. I thought I might as well just be gone because it was the worst.
So
All the
I was
does,
on Cymbalta. Had to
does-
taper off of that one. Took me about 5 years for that one too.
does
terrible.
anybody, does everybody actually believe the doctor knows what they're talking about when they put you on medication or what?
No, I don't anymore. I did
No.
at
Like-
the time, but I don't anymore.
Trying to
You're
figure this
lucky.
out.
My
You're lucky.
psychiatrist actually said to me, when
They're
I
laughing.
wanted to come off of Cymbalta, I said, I have to taper off it really slowly because of the, withdrawal. He said, oh, there's
Yeah.
no withdrawal from meds. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? This is a psychiatrist, right? And I said, yeah, there is. So anyways, I slowly did it on my own because Cymbalta has 300 and some odd little balls inside each capsule. So I
Slow
counted
release.
each week
Mhm.
and withdrew that way.
Took one
and
little
put them
ball at a
in-
time.
Pardon?
It would drop a ball at a
One little
time.
ball at a
Oh,
time.
yeah, it was something like that. Oh, man, it was
Cymbalta.
terrible.
See, for that one med, I couldn't do a slow step down from it because I broke out in hives and I was having
Oh, no.
psychotic episodes with it.
Let's
And
do
he
it.
was like, "You got to go off it now." So he was like, "Don't take another one." So I had to basically go through
That's
a
terrible.
drug
The
detox.
withdrawal. Yeah. Do the detox yourself, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, and how did that work out?
For a week, I was pretty much sick as a dog. It was, oh my gosh. I mean, and I'm a recovering alcoholic, so I understand,
Bye, Andy.
when you're,
Hi,
oh, yeah.
Andy.
Oh, it was bad.
You're
It was
leaving,
really,
Andy?
really bad. And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay?"
Bye,
And I'm
Andy.
like, "I'm detoxing."
Bye.
Wow,
Andy.
that's so sad.
And they were
That's
like,
sad.
What do you mean you're detoxing? Are you on drugs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys all know I have this disorder." And they're like, "Well, are you taking, stuff that you shouldn't?" No, this is the stuff the doctor prescribed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Christina.
doctors
Yep.
are they're too free willy-nilly with their drugs. Like my
Yeah.
doctor wants to put me on
Christina.
high blood pressure pills, and I'm like, no. I said I don't want to go on high blood pressure pills. She goes, I'll give you 2 months to say otherwise. So on June 4th, I
Start
go see
drinking,
her.
start having
No.
grapefruit in the morning.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you say that because I do every morning. I eat the container of grapefruit.
The ruby
Not
red.
just grapefruit, but
I
the
love that.
container. Yeah. And and my husband goes and picks it up at Costco like every week.
Oh, I
And
love
there
them
you
from
go.
Costco. They're my favorite.
Yeah, but you know
Oh,
what?
yum,
My
yum.
blood pressure is not going down. And it's
Yeah,
Then
see,
it might
mine
be
wasn't
something
going down
else that's
either.
kicking it up.
Mine, we were staying high, so I had no choice.
Really, eh? See, I
Yeah.
don't want to go on any medication. I'm on
I did
medication
neither, but yeah, I had no choice.
Are you like
and
really high or are you
Yeah,
just like
it was
a
really
little
high.
high?
Yeah, it was really high.
yeah, like how high?
I can't even remember now. Can't remember what the numbers were, but yeah. Because
Okay.
it was weird because every doctor I was seeing kept saying to me, your blood pressure is really high. Your blood pressure is really high. I'm going, no, my blood pressure's always been low, right? Because it has always been low. And so I finally went to my doctor and she said, oh yeah, your blood pressure is high. So she monitored it for a while and I couldn't get it down. So she had to put me on meds.
Yeah,
I
well,
have a
I'm
history of
refusing
heart
meds.
problems in
Okay,
the family.
that's okay.
So
Alls I know is that I don't want to go on blood pressure pills, and I'm gonna fight it tooth and nail to do whatever I
it.
have to.
Do
What
it.
else can what else can I go on? Like, what else can I eat that will keep my blood pressure down, Motorola?
Give me
Give
a
me some,
second.
I need some advice on this.
Give me just a second, girl.
Hey, take your time, girl, because I don't
Herbal
want to go on
supplement.
meds.
Yeah, please don't go on blood pressure meds.
No, I'm doing everything in my power not
They're
to
killing
because I,
people off, and we gotta get Diane off of them.
yeah. You know, like I can only walk for so long, for so far and stuff like that. And I've got, I've got flights of stairs here that I go up and down all the
see,
time.
I
and-
also have a 65% blockage in my aorta.
Oh, well,
And
that's
they
not,
considered that borderline.
Didn't they do
Right.
catheter?
But yeah.
Are they checking
no,
your
they didn't put it
potassium?
in, but they
See?
were
Right there she
talking about it.
goes.
But
Potassium. That's what I'm going to get, because I show the periodic paralysis that I've been talking to you guys about.
yeah.
I show plummeting levels of potassium.
Oh,
right
I do too.
Before and during
Yeah.
attacks, which
Because
is
if you consistently keep a low potassium, your blood pressure will go up.
Oh, that's interesting.
if
Because I
you
always
say that again, I
low
didn't catch that.
potassium. My doctor's always telling me to eat almonds, dried apricots. What was the
yes,
other thing I
dried
put in there?
apricots are the highest in potassium.
Yeah.
I just looked this all up.
Figs are also
Yeah.
really high.
Which ones?
Which- what?
Okay,
Figs.
figs.
It's also if you figs and if you're iron, if you are anemic or you run low on your iron, figs are also something you can take.
Okay,
So that's
Oh.
definitely something to look at.
okay, I will. I'm gonna definitely look at stuff like that because I gotta fight this. I don't want medication. I really don't. I'm only on one medication right now, and I think that's for my
States. Yeah.
Mhm.
thinking.
So watch your sodium. Check, have your potassium checked. Now, one thing that that they had me do is it's called a nutritional blood test. So it checks all of your nutritional levels.
Oh, I'd love to get that done.
Yeah.
Ask your
Yes.
doctor for it.
What's it
Okay.
called?
Demand it.
Nutritional.
I
And what's it
Nutritional
called?
blood work.
Nutritional
blood work.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
It'll give
Okay, I'm
all
gonna
your
do that.
levels, your magnesium, your sodiums, your potassiums, all of that stuff.
So
There's
it's
like,
more than
oh.
just a BUN or creatinine.
oh yeah, there's
no.
like 30 different things they're checking.
Oh,
Even,
really?
Because
even for
my-
like protein and how protein. Oh, see, I want that. Yeah, I definitely.
Because
Interesting.
Also
okay,
want a genetic test.
okay.
Because I
Well,
have
when
I have this crooked finger. I was
Okay.
born with it, and it's progressively gotten worse over my life,
okay,
which is a symptom of a periodic paralysis, and the specific one, namely Anderson-Tawil syndrome. I also have between the second and third toes slight webbing, which is another consistent symptom. And what happens is it's almost backwards of how we see FND. It's there's an actual problem with the ion channels in the muscles where it's not taking the potassium and the calcium and sodium correctly. So it's messing up the signals to the nervous system. So it's backwards working where FND is more like the nerves and the neurons are messing up, telling the muscles to mess up. Well, these are the muscles telling the nerves, sorry, buddy, we're not going to communicate. You're out of control. So they cause severe contractions. There are
And-
several ways to test for it.
And cramping too? Do you get cramping on that too?
Oh yeah, like well, but if you ever hear a trigger point where your muscle
yep.
is been so tensed that basically the neuron in that muscle is just completely on fire and won't release that muscle to just relax.
Yeah, you should
Okay.
go for
I have not
point
had
therapy.
one day without a single relaxed muscle, more so in my neck, face, and arms
Okay.
in the last over a week now.
Wow.
And it's,
That's got to be sore as hell, girl.
I feel like I
Oh,
went
yeah.
to gym and worked out every machine for hours. And the next day, you know that feeling, but then
Oh,
it
yeah.
starts all up again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Not
why
good.
I want to go have, because my history of my potassium levels has indicated that it is occurring a drop and showing a drop
Yeah.
during or before an episode of anything, any symptom I get.
So what about if you have bananas? Like if you eat a banana or something like that?
I tried that. So, and it, you know how our minds are. So I tried that in the midst of right after a calm down episode, and maybe it was about an hour later. I wasn't really cognitive of enough to relate the two, but I started to relax a bit,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then it clicked. Oh my gosh. The banana had to have had something to do with it, the potassium.
My
Mhm.
doctor told me though,
Definitely.
So if
But
I
the
do
ba-
have
the
this
bananas don't
specific
have that much.
disorder, what they do for treatment is potassium supplements. And sometimes, depending on how severe, like I have been, you would
Right.
have to go in for IV potassium
For
to
an IV drip.
get it more
Mhm.
regulated.
Right. Okay. So basically a banana would work to a point.
And today I had the dried apricots, and I had a little bit of a reprieve when I fell asleep. But here I am again.
Yeah, I agree.
That's 'cause
Definitely a
fruit-
nutrition. Great idea. I think we should all do that.
Yeah, it's called, okay, so the name of it is a nutrient and vitamin deficiency test.
Okay.
Newt-
Okay.
Nutrient and vitamin deficiency test.
Nutrient and divide. Okay. Efficiency. Okay. Okay. I'm going to definitely talk to that about my doctor on the 4th, and I'm going to get her to do all these tests. My God, when she first diagnosed, or not diagnosed me, but when I first went into her doctor's office there, she just looked at me and said, I don't know what the hell's the matter with you. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on with you? And that was the first, like, she is a nurse practitioner. She's not even a doctor, but she's working under a doctor. So she sent me to the doctor, and the doctor is like, you know what? Just test her from A to Z. Tested me from A to Z and nothing showed up. And then she's like, I don't know what's wrong with you, Julie. I'm sorry, I don't know. We'll send you to a neurologist. Neurologist is sitting there going, I don't know what's wrong with you. Send me to a psychiatrist. Nope, don't know. Send me to a psychiatrist. Nope, don't know. Like, seriously, somebody, so it was the one, that doctor there, Diane, the one down south,
Yeah.
Dr. Burke.
Yeah.
He's the one that said I have
Yep,
FND.
exactly. That's what happened to
Yeah.
me for 20 years.
Dr. Book from Grey's
and I
Anatomy.
went to every doctor,
No, not from Grey's Anatomy.
every doctor you could think of.
Yep.
That's
Me too.
funny. That's funny, April.
I mean, I didn't even get a hint of my diagnosis until the fourth neurologist in. And he said,
Wow.
I know I'm diagnosing you with this. I don't know a lot about it. This is going to be a trial and error kind of thing. We're going to
Okay.
have to work together. And I was like, I'm good with that because I'm great with research and I'm not going to sit
Perfect.
still. And then
Perfect.
when he went to he moved to a different hospital. He referred me to a guy that had studied under a specialist for NFD. And when I walked in, he goes, hey, I've looked through your file. And he goes, let's chat.
Nice, nice.
And
So
I
do
was
you,
like,
do you still have one?
okay. Still with him. And I walk in, I have a yellow notebook and I'm like, okay, let's
Let's
talk.
do
Every
this.
time I go in, I was just in there last week. And the
Nice.
sad thing is he runs me through all these different tests,
Okay.
checking my strength, my gait, the whole 9
Yeah.
yards. And unfortunately he looks at me and he says, now, Debbie, he goes, I can tell you that you've lost this, this, and this. He says, and
Okay.
there's nothing we can really do about it. He says, but you're already doing all this other stuff, all this therapy.
Okay.
Let's keep track of it so we can know how quickly, if something
Yeah.
helps, something doesn't. And then
Right.
he says, if there's a new med, he'll say, well, there's this med right here we could try. And I'll say, okay, give me the good and the bad on it. And we just
Right.
itemize every section of it. Like this
Awesome.
last one, I don't remember the name. It had something in it. And then he started going through the other list of the oddball things that could happen. And
Mhm.
one of them is constipation. And I said, hey, do we really want me to take a med that causes constipation when I'm already chronic anemic
Constipated.
and I'm already
Right.
taking 60 milligrams of iron
Oh,
and I have
wow.
to take all these fibers just to go to the bathroom
Yeah,
and
I
I
do
can't
too.
get constipated because I have
Okay.
diverticulitis that is not for
Okay.
no reason at all.
Wow.
And he goes, maybe not. That might not be a good med for you.
No, exactly. And that's the whole thing, right? But what's good is that you have now somebody that you can communicate with and he will listen to you and he will
Yeah.
work with you.
Because
You
Dr.
are
Burke did
very
nothing.
fortunate.
It's just a diagnosis. Here you go. End of story. Bye-bye.
That's what we
Yeah.
get. That's
Yeah.
what we get. But
That's
you
exactly what we
found
got.
somebody special. So like
Hang on
hats
to
off
that.
to
But
you for
but I
finding
had
somebody
to go
special.
through 4 others neurologists just to get to that.
But
And I had to be
Yeah,
a pain in the butt.
I've
that's a
seen
good
4
thing.
different
Look where you
neurologists.
are now. Like if you wouldn't have gone through 4 of those neurologists, where would you be? So good for you. Keep going. Keep
I went
like
through 4 different neurologists before
Yeah.
I had one that said to me, oh, I'm going to send you downtown to a neurologist that knows a lot about movement disorders.
mhm.
And that's when I ended up at Dr. Burke.
Okay, yeah. Because when I went down to go see this Dr. Matthews or whatever his name is, I don't remember. I
Oh,
ended up having an episode in the office and it was a bad episode. And he just looked at me. He goes, you know what? He goes, I have a doctor that is good with movement disorder.
yeah.
So here we go see Dr. Burke. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care who it is, just move me along and give me an answer here. So
Yeah.
so now Dr. Burke ended up sending me for a sleep test clinic, and that's where I found out that I've got sleep apnea. So I'm grateful that he sent me there because if I wouldn't have found out that I had sleep apnea, who knows where I'd be today? Because my sleep apnea now is like I can see what's going on with my sleep apnea, and I can see that I stop breathing in the middle of the night. And my husband doesn't know that because he's freaking sleeping, right?
Yeah.
So I've got this machine that lets me know when, things are good. So I think we all end up going on a path, and it may be a hard path, but you know what? We're warriors. And the more we struggle with this, the more answers we end up getting. Because
Mhm.
I think I found something new that I didn't know I had. Just like everybody else, they found out something new that they didn't know they ended up having.
I went for a
Because
sleep
of
test,
FND.
but they just told me that I'm only getting like probably 2 hours worth of sleep a night, and the rest is like all over the place.
Well, that's not good.
No.
Have you gone for a sleep study?
Yep, that's what they told me.
Really?
Yeah.
And did they
I've been
say
actually
anything
for 2
else?
sleep studies, 2 different places.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe go to another one. Because if you're up most of the night and they don't, and they're not really doing anything, that could contribute to your FND.
Yeah,
Because I
I'm
know,
always tired. I don't
Yeah.
sleep well at all.
yeah, so sleep is between sleep and nutrition. Those are the two key factors that will affect your FND by far.
Mhm.
So if you don't have those two lined up together, then you're in a whole mess of trouble. And that's where you end up with the worst symptoms in the world.
Yeah.
I was noticing that. And now I've got my nutrition kind of under control and I've got my sleep kind of under control. And I'm feeling much better, but I'm still having my issues. And I just don't know what triggers my issues. All I know is that I end up having them and I don't know what triggers it. Well, like I said, there's a storm coming in. So that's the only thing I say is that, okay, there's a storm coming in. I'm having a fit here. I go all day long, and today I had a little bit of a fit, anybody else here have their driver's license taken away from them because of this?
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Did we all get our licenses back?
No. Do you know what you have to go through in Ontario to get your license back?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
because
more than 3 hours worth of testing. They test your cognition, your strength, your balance. You have to do a driving test in car, all of it. And so that alone would stress me out enough that I wouldn't be able to do it.
Wow. Yeah. Because when my doctor took my license away, I was really pissed off because I'm like, well, why are you taking my license away? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, because I don't know how you're able to drive when you're in this kind of condition. I said, well, you know what? If I'm having a problem, I said, I won't drive.
Exactly.
She goes,
That's what I said.
She goes, how do I know that? I said, well, because I'm not stupid.
Me too. That's exactly what I said.
And she still had to take it away. So I told her, I said, fine, take it away. And then I kind of fought her on it for a couple of months because I thought to myself, if I can't work, then, then you could take my license away. So I struggled for a little bit and she ended up going, okay, she goes, I'll give you back your license. But if you get in an accident, she goes, that's on me. I said, I understand that completely. I said, I'm good with that. She goes, I'm not good with it. I said, well, put it this way. I barely drive to begin with. I said, but my license is highly important to me. I said, in case there's an emergency, one of my kids need me, one of my grandkids, my husband.
Yeah.
She goes, okay. She goes, so emergencies only? Yes. Yeah. She goes, here you go. I said, okay, how about a parking pass? She goes, yeah, sure, here. She goes, here's a parking pass. So I got a disability pass and
I do too. But
yeah,
I don't drive.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
it's good
see,
to have.
My
Yeah,
depth
my phone
perception
was
is
dying
so
too.
off.
Plugged in. Yeah, I get that though. Okay, I love talking to you all you people, but my iPad is dying and it's been great talking and we'll see you all again soon.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta
Take
head out
care.
too, guys.
Yeah, take care and
Bye-bye.
Godspeed.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye-bye. Where is everybody? Oh. Yep.
Oh, how am I?
Oh,
Okay,
there you
come
go.
on. I'm working on hanging up. Don't worry.
Got it?
No, not yet. Just give me a minute. Oh, there it is.
Got it? Oh.